Hey y'all, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are when you see this video. Thank you for joining me, Dorothea, on Through an Orthodox Christian Lens. It is December 7th, 2025. I have a few stories for you. They're more like updates on a couple of metropolitans of the UOC that I thought you might want to know what's going on with them, with that court case and the poisoning. So we're going to go on to that. Metropolitan Arseni spends 11 hours. Now, this was the other day, not today, but the other day. Spends 11 hours in court on his Episcopal ordination anniversary. 11 hours! Who stays in court for 11 hours? Does any court go that long? Really? Okay. Anyway. December 5th became one of the longest and most intense days of hearings in the case against the abbot of that particular lavra. On that date, the day marking the 20th anniversary of Metropolitan Arseni of this place's Episcopal consecration, the Chechelev District Court of Dnipro conducted one of the most prolonged and contentious sessions in his case. According to the press service of this place, lavra, the day became a culmination of a week of nearly uninterrupted hearings. The session opened at 10 a.m., but within minutes a recess was announced until 12:40 p.m. Strange. The court needed to, quote-unquote, ensure the connection for several members of parliament who had asked to act as guarantors for Metropolitan Arseni. Although many MPs had notified the court in advance of their intention to participate, none of them were successfully connected. As a result, only MP Victoria Hurib, I can't even say that, who came in person, was able to attend. Obstacles were also created for the faithful who came to support the abbot of the lavra. Some were simply not allowed into the courtroom building, with security citing and, quote-unquote, instruction from the judge. While the session remained on pause, Metropolitan Arseni served a Thanksgiving mulligan right there in the courtroom, after which he addressed the faithful, speaking on the importance of gratitude to God. We often ask God for things, but we forget to give thanks. Thanksgiving is hands stretched out for new blessings. Toward the end of the recess, the brethren of the lavra and the sisters of the lavra's skeets arrived at the court, congratulating the Metropolitan on his Episcopal Jubilee and presenting a congratulatory address from the entire monastic community. After the recess, despite the fact that the Metropolitan's defense lawyers had been prepared in advance to participate online, the video conference system was never activated. Gee, what a surprise, right? Instead, the court summoned a lawyer from the free legal aid system. This lawyer was given only about an hour and a half to review the case materials. In the 11 hours, mind you, that he was in there in the courtroom, half the time required by law. Ooh, that's not good. Moreover, the materials were provided not by the court but by the prosecutor. Oh boy, which the defense described as a gross violation of the Criminal Procedure Code. I would say so. The attorney filed a motion to recuse Judge Tatiana Bezruk. However, the hearing on the recusal proceeded with remarkable speed and formality. The parties were not even notified that it had begun. The motion, as expected, was denied. Following additional reports of procedural violations, the court postponed the hearing until 10 a.m. Saturday. Constantly. Only after 8:15 p.m. was Metropolitan Arseni transported back to the pretrial detention center, meaning he had spent roughly 11 hours in the courthouse. It was also noted that the court completely ignored air raid alarms and failed to provide evacuation for participants in the proceedings. From December 1 to 5 court hearings involving the hierarch were held. The hearing on the first, the hearing on the investigator's recusal was terminated due to the judge's own recusal. New date, December 10th. December 2nd, the appeal against the decision on pretrial detention was again postponed for the third time in a row. The appellate court did not receive the case materials. New date, December 9th. December 3rd, the appellate court changed territorial jurisdiction for the second case and transferred it to the Chechilev court, where the first case is already being heard. December 4, the hearing on the first case was unexpectedly replaced with consideration of pretrial measures in the second case due to a power outage affecting the defense lawyers. The session was postponed and then, due to technical issues, postponed again to December 5th. Well, I tell you, this sounds like some kind of joke, fraudulent case. I mean, we all know these are bogus charges, but this is ridiculous. So let me go ahead and give you an update on that. So then, court extends detention of Metropolitan Arseni until February 2026. You see how they're dragging this out? This poor man, causing him such stress on his health and his well-being, his mental, his psychological, his spiritual, his, all of that. They're doing this on purpose. I mean, it's so obvious. The defense team of Metropolitan Arseni is preparing for an appeal. So on the 6th, this District Court of Dnipro held a hearing to determine the preventive measure for the abbot of this Lavra, Metropolitan Arseni. And so they extended his detention until February 3rd, 2026. This is outrageous. At first, the faithful who came to support the hierarch were not allowed into the courthouse, with officials citing the weekend as the reason. After the judge intervened, people were permitted inside, yet the number of attendees was limited to the available seating. The Metropolitan's lawyers were not allowed to participate in the hearing, despite their readiness to join for video conference. Yes, all of this we know about. So now they have pushed it back to this time. So during the hearing, Metropolitan Arseni filed a motion to recuse the judge. As we said, that didn't happen. The prosecutor, Larissa something or other, argued for continued detention on the grounds of the Metropolitan's extensive connections, authority, and financial means. Lord have mercy. Claiming he could allegedly exert pressure on witnesses. Good grief. Metropolitan Arseni did not admit guilt and asked the court to reject the prosecutor's request. The court consolidated 2 criminal cases against the hierarch into a single proceeding and extended his detention for 60 days. He was in detention for over a year. So this is just another, they just keep dragging it. Statements from 9 members of the Ukrainian parliament who requested the abbot of the Lavra be released into their custody or that bail be set were ignored. The defense is preparing an appeal. This is really, I feel so bad for him. Please continue to pray for Metropolitan Arseni. This poor man, he's going through so much. Now I'm going to go to the other Metropolitan, Theodosi. Remember, he was supposedly, they think it looked like he had been poisoned. So his health is improving after likely poisoning. This came out at the 5th. Oh, look at him. He has a bird here. His Eminence Metropolitan Theodosi of Cherkasy and Kanev, or Kaniv, I don't know how to say it. One of the most persecuted hierarchs of the canonical Ukrainian Orthodox Church is showing signs of recovery after being urgently hospitalized late last week. His hospitalization followed a severe deterioration in health over the previous weeks. Tests indicated the presence of toxic substances in his body, leading to suspicions that he may have been poisoned, possibly with heavy metals. So this is what the Cherkasy Diocese stated yesterday. This was out on the 5th. So, dear brothers and sisters, we sincerely thank all of you for your fervent prayers for the health of Metropolitan Theodosi. Today, on the feast of the entrance of the Most Holy Theotokos into the temple, after receiving Holy Communion, Vladika's condition began to improve. Thank God. Over these past few days, doctors have administered intensive detox therapy and liver support treatment, along with a wide array of diagnostic tests. We believe that through the intercession of our Most Holy Lady Theotokos and Ever Virgin Mary, and through the prayers of many Orthodox Christians from around the world, the Lord will raise Vladika from his sickbed healthy and whole, for service to his church and his people. Metropolitan Theodosi, who has been a vocal critic of the persecution faced by the Ukrainian Orthodox Church began showing signs of an unusual illness over a month ago. Initially, his symptoms, fevers, but yeah, we know about that. But I wanted to read this other part that maybe others did not know about. Vladika's hospitalization follows a series of health challenges over the past year, exacerbated by ongoing state persecution. He was previously subjected to extended house arrest on fabricated charges, and his diocese has been a frequent target of violent church seizures. And I remember showing this video, last year I showed a video of this. In October 2024, he was struck on the head during the violent seizure of the Archangel Michael Cathedral in Cherkasy, though his episcopal klobuk helped soften the blow. Yes, I think he ended up with a concussion. That's what I remember. Despite the challenges, the archpastor has remained steadfast in his ministry. His health was also severely impacted by a heart attack in July 2024, a result of the immense pressure from the ongoing persecution of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. Stress is a killer, folks. Stress is a killer. Persecution really, really takes a toll on a person's well-being, as I have said. Well, I'm glad to see that Metropolitan Theodosi is healing, getting better. Their prayers. Let's continue to pray. And I'm just really happy to see that. Let's hope. God help Metropolitan Arseny. Anyway, I just wanted to give you those updates. It seemed important since we've been following the stories of these two faithful, God-fearing, humble metropolitans of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for following my channel.